Hey anybody, how you all doing? I hope you had a very good Christmas. I had a hell of a Christmas, literally. It was about 115 degrees and it was so hot you could smell the heat. It was like things were on the verge of melting. I mean, it was at least 115, maybe a little bit hotter. But other than that, I got some very nice gifts, a couple of nice gifts, and I did get some relief the day after. About a day and a half later, it cooled down a little bit, so I got a little bit of relief. Thank goodness. As you can see, I've got the camera pointed at the tachometer in Thunder 3. So what this video actually is part 3 of the health series. And I'm sneaking up on you guys a little bit. And I've come up with an excellent comparison to what you're doing to yourselves, many of you. Now, most of the time I'm targeting truckers because truckers have the toughest situation. They're sedentary because they basically have to strap themselves into a truck and they're pretty much sit there for 3 or 4 hours. If you're an office worker or a couch potato, you can get up and move around, say at least stand every 30, 40 minutes. But when you're a trucker, you're strapped in. So, I'll target truckers, but anybody can follow this health routine that I'm doing. And I'm going to show you part 3 of the health routine that I'm doing to maintain my health. And it is working. It's doing very well. So truckers, compared to the old days, the old school trucker, things aren't the same for you guys. You have the same mental strength that the old school truckers had, but you're not getting the same physical strength that they had because the trucks are so easy to drive now. I mean, they practically drive themselves, don't they? They're automatic, power steering, power this, power that. You're basically just sitting there and steering the thing down the road, and of course braking and stuff like that. But that's the difference. The old school trucks were much harder to drive, and they were a physical workout. So they had that edge over the new drivers today. Let's see, I've got a few points written down because I want to make sure that I get all my points covered for this video. Let's see. So let's go through a typical day for a driver. Say you've got 11 hours ahead of you. You got to drive maybe 600 miles today. And you've got 11 hours to do it in, basically. So you're going to run about, maybe 4 hour, then a 2 hour. You'll mix it up a little bit. You might do a couple of 3 hour stretches and a 4 hour stretch. But during that time, so let's go back to the title now, because the title is extremely important with this video. Red line and idle at the same time. Is it possible? The short answer is no, absolutely not. So let's make the comparison here, and you truckers will be able to relate more than anybody. So, how can I put this the simplest way? Let's say you're sitting at a truck stop and you're having lunch and you want to stay cool, so you got the truck running, okay? So you're sitting there, but the truck is idling, okay? So it's about 650 RPM. So you're not going to sit there with the truck screaming at 3,000 RPM while you have your lunch, are you? So this is what you're doing to yourself when you're going down the road. When you're going down the road, let's say your body is the truck, okay? But if you're constantly sipping on sugary drinks, eating candies, eating potato chips, this is what I was saying in Love That Steering Wheel. So if you're doing that, let's say you're starting your day. Let me back up here. I'm kind of jumbling around here trying to get this across the best way that I can, because it's very simple once you get it in your mind. So you start your day. You have yourself a good breakfast. Okay. And then you collect a couple of things because you know you got a 3 or 4 hour stretch ahead of you. So you collect some bottle of soda, maybe a candy bar, or a packet of potato chips or some junk like that, right? So you've just had breakfast, and so your insulin is spiked at that point. So you get in your truck and you take off, and as you go down the road, you're sipping and you're snacking on that delicious soda, and you're keeping that insulin level spiked the whole time that you're driving. So the comparison is your body is the truck, okay? Your body is in the truck, but your body is idling, just like when you're sitting there having lunch. So your body is idling. You're sitting still. You're just steering and doing your thing, listening to music or whatever, but you're just steering. So your body's idling, but when you're snacking on all the sweet stuff as you drive before you get to lunchtime, you're keeping your insulin spiked. When you need to get let's say your insulin is your engine, okay? So your body is idling, but you need to bring that insulin down to an idle also. This is what I'm driving at. So you're going down the road, your body is idle, but your insulin is racing. Just like if you were sitting there in your truck having lunch, staying cool, but your engine is at 3,000 RPM. You just wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't do that to your engine, is what I'm saying. But you're actually doing that to your body. Now, you all know what a runaway diesel is. That's when a motor is stuck And it's just basically it's just gonna just keep running as fast as it can until it comes apart. So that's what you're doing to yourself. Depending on how strong your body is, how young or how old or things like that, your body will handle it until something breaks or something is so clogged up that it just won't work anymore. Any system in a truck engine, coolant, oil, air, if any of it's clogged, it ain't running. So if any of your systems are clogged, you won't be running and you'll come to an abrupt stop. So what you need to do is, when your body is idling and you're going down the road, you need to bring that insulin down to an idle. Okay, that means it's very simple and it's very easy to do. And you can use that mental strength. All truckers that last in the job have mental strength because you have to do the job. It's just that you don't have the same physical strength as the old school guys. But you can bring that back. You can bring some tone back. But so you got to bring that idle down. You got to bring that insulin down to an idle. So, and the easy way to do that is very simple. Just do not snack or drink sugary drinks between meals, okay? Don't forget, only have that one main meal per day. So I would go with a light breakfast, a main meal for lunch, try to get some exercise in after lunch. I've shown you a couple of techniques. Calling all truckers. Love that steering wheel. And then you'll see the other thing that I do shortly here. But the simple thing is, no sugary drinks, etc. between meals. But there is a couple of drinks that you can sip on, just like the old school guys did. And this also gave them an edge. So you can drink two things while you're going down the road. Water, okay, which is obvious. Now the best water is iced water. Okay, it's just delicious. It's better than any soda. Once you get away from that soda, you'll be like, ugh, can't believe I was drinking that mess. So iced water is delicious. And then the other thing you can drink is good old-fashioned black coffee. Just like the old school guys. They drink black coffee. A lot of them called it 100-mile coffee, depending on the strength. Absolutely no sugar in the coffee. Okay? You can put a touch of creamer, but absolutely no sugar. If you're drinking a cup of coffee with 5 teaspoons of sugar, you might as well be drinking a bottle of soda. Okay? So that's it, guys. It is that simple. Whether you're a trucker, an office worker, a couch potato, that's all you have to do. Get that insulin down while your body is idling. Just like if you're sitting there having lunch in your truck, staying cool, your truck is sitting still, and you've got your engine, which is the insulin, idling. Okay, so you want that insulin to come down after breakfast, and then it'll go up again at lunchtime. You want it to come back down after lunch. Okay? You don't want it screaming as fast as it can go and your body working overtime, because your insides are a runaway. And it's just a matter of time before something's going to break. Okay? So let's recap a couple of things. Start out your morning. Always start your morning with CONAN'S calf massage. All right? Got to start with that foundation every morning. Always start with your foundation. So you start out with the calf massage, just like in Calling All Truckers. And get the correct shoes to exercise your calves while you're walking. So you need a decent heel and a leather sole. Don't forget a leather sole to keep you grounded, okay? Because we are somewhat electrical. All right? So start with that every day for sure. Love that steering wheel during your day. Now you can do the steering wheel squeeze and pull anytime that you're driving. But you can also do the steering, let's call them steering squats. You can do that at different times. You don't have to, like, let's say you gotta get up in the morning and you're gonna deliver today, and you got about maybe 2 hours of traffic to deal with, right? So let's say you're going into downtown LA, just left Ontario, and you get downtown there, and you pull off the ramp, and you come up to, of course there'll be traffic, there's always going to be traffic, and you come up to the light there, and you can see you're going to be sitting there for at least a minute, right? Just pay attention. You'll stop, pay attention, set the brake, and knock out as many steering squats as you can. If you only got time for 10, just do 10. If the light turns green and you've only done, say, 12, 15, then you just back down in your seat, release the brake, and away you go. Seatbelt, of course. So you can do that. There's love your steering wheel techniques during the day. Let's see. Let me look at my checklist real quick. Okay. Let's get out of Thunder 3 here. And then we'll go over and look at the other thing that I'm also doing to maintain my health. My door's got me jammed in the corner here. By the way, I just fired up Thunder 3, and she started up like there was no tomorrow. And then she went rough again. So I'm pretty sure I do have trouble with that secondary float needle. It's definitely sticking. There's Pico and Red's mansion. They're living good, aren't they? They're living high. There they are. Okay, guys. Here we go. This is the other thing that I'm doing to maintain my health. And it's just plain old bicycle riding. Now I've got two bicycles here. I'll show you the other one in a minute. But they were both thrown away. This one was in very poor condition. And there was a lot that wasn't working on it. But I spent, just a few hours making it workable. And what I do is, there's a supermarket about, maybe a mile and a half from here, and about 2 or 3 times a week, I ride the bicycle to the supermarket. Step back here and give you a better shot. So 2 or 3 times a week, when I go grocery shopping, I ride the bicycle. Now this bicycle was a little bit beat up. The rear here is all bent and wobbly because some kid was probably jumping off skyscrapers with it. But it was a girl's bike, and it had a lot of pink stuff on it, and I scraped a lot of the pink stuff off because it was a bit too girly for me. And so it was pink all down here, just like that pink inside the fork. So I scraped all that off. And then there was a lot of problems with the rear tire. The rear tire kept going flat. So a buddy of mine across the street got online and ordered me this solid rubber tire that I put on quite a while back now. And it's holding up real good. And then I made it more of a guy's bike. I found that this here was just an old table leg that I basically just cut to fit, and I tacked it in there. So I'm going to turn this into a custom bicycle. So the bike is usable, but the gears are broken on it. You can see this cable's just flopping around, and the gears don't work. So the gears don't work, and the rear axle is bent, wobbly, and basically clunks. But the good thing, what happened with this bicycle, because the gears don't work, was it's stuck in a hard gear. And that worked out very good for me. And I don't know if you've ever heard of a thing called, the nickname is, all the health gurus and exercise nuts call it HIIT, which stands for high impact interval training. Okay? So, because it's stuck in a hard gear, what I do is I use the bicycle and I pedal until my legs are really feeling it, and then I hop off and just walk it out. So I'm actually doing that high impact interval training on this old bicycle that I got for nothing, just thrown away. And That's worked out very good. So I would pedal, and then when I hit a slight rise or a hill, I just get off and walk it. And then when the legs started feeling all right again, I'd get on and pedal some more. And it just worked out so perfect. But here's my solution. So I'm turning it into a custom bicycle. Got this leg welded in. You can see it's just tacked in right there on the front. There's all kinds of things you can do. Like I could put a couple of little lights in these holes and things like that. I mean, it's just, all this kind of thing is just a blank canvas, you know, and you can just customize and do whatever you want to the stuff, and that's what makes it so interesting. What I'm going to do to the back end is this. So I've got this old motorcycle wheel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the rear end of that frame off. Now this is a way on the back burner type project. There's too many priorities right now. Thunder 1 is the priority. So I'm going to cut the rear of the frame off, and then I'm going to put this wheel back. Right there would be good. I'm going to, you see right now I'm running on the center sprocket right there. See that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the outside sprocket. All I got to do is grind out. They look like Allen keys, but I tried that and couldn't make anything work, so I'll just hit it with the grinder. And I'm going to take that outside sprocket, and I'm going to fit it somehow onto this brake disc. So you can see I've got some pretty good chances of making it work, you know, running bolts through and things like that. So that sprocket will go on the back, and then I'll switch the chain once I get this rear wheel mounted on the back here, which would be pretty cool when it's done. It's going to be a custom, basically a chopper bicycle. So the big sprocket will come to the back, will be on the rear wheel, and then I'm going to run the bicycle on the little sprocket down in there. You can see it right there. So while I'm doing that, I've got this other bicycle that was also thrown away, but this is a very nice bicycle. You can see it was a girl's bicycle. Got the pink wheels. Check it out. It was called an Aussie Cruiser. Now down here they don't say Aussie, like we pronounce it Aussie. But down here they actually say Aussie with a Z. And then they say a Z is a Z down here. So they say Aussie with a Z. Anyway, back to the subject. You can see it's got the pink wheels, but this is a very, very nice bicycle, and it rides very well. It's not hard to pedal. It's a very simple bicycle. But what I'm going to do is, while I'm customizing that one, I'll be riding this one to the supermarket. But there's a couple things I'll do to this first. Like, I'm going to paint the pink wheels black, probably, to match the black section, the black tire. So I'll have black rims, white walls, and then black tire. And then I will, since the handlebars are so rusty, I'll paint them black to match the rims. But check out the seat. Pretty cool, huh? Spring ride. Yeah, it's a very comfortable bike and easy bike to pedal. And then what I'm going to do here is I have a plan. So the rims will be black, the bars will be black, and then I have a plan for right in here, to put a cross member right in here to make it a guy's bike. But I won't tell you what that is, because I've come up with a really cool idea, and so I'll kind of leave that idea alone for now, and I'll just kind of do it, put it together, and I'll show you what it is when it's done. You see how the grips match the seat? They're a little bit worn and torn, but the grips match the seat. So there you go, guys. That's the third thing that I do to maintain my health. Now, anybody can do this stuff. I mean, even you truckers, you know, if you're in a truck stop, you're gonna be there for a couple hours, have your main meal, and you can walk around. The parking lots are so damn big, you can walk around the lots, or if you have a bicycle, you can pedal around the lots, or if it's a quiet area, you can pedal down the road. And I mean, it's you think that you don't have time, but you can work it in. Okay, just make sure when you're in the parking lots, I'm sure you've all seen, when you're walking around the parking lot or you're riding your bicycle around the parking lot, you've all seen that black dust that's blowing around on a windy day. Okay, if you're going to be walking the lot or riding the lot, don't be breathing that black dust. That black dust is rubber that's ground off the tires, and that's really bad for your lungs. You do not want to breathe that stuff. Okay? That will give you cancer, lung cancer, in no time, because you won't be able to clear it out of your lungs. So watch out for the black dust. Alright, guys. Well, there you go. That's part 3 of the health series. So hopefully some of you will get it going on as a New Year's resolution. That's why I tried to do this video before the end of the year. And it's very simple. You can spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours listening to and watching YouTube videos, all these health gurus and such talking about different things and confusing you with different things, and or you can just use my techniques. I think we've got about an hour and a half total in this series. And it's very simple, direct. Anyone can do it. And bring yourself back from the skull and bones coming at you faster than it should be. So quick recap again. Make sure, always start with your CONAN'S calf massage. You've got to get them calf muscles freed up in the morning. The correct shoes, good heels, leather soles so you're grounded. Love that steering wheel. If you're a couch potato, love that dining chair. Just sit on it backwards and squeeze and pull on the back of that dining chair. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and then you can do your squats. Truckers, I'm calling them steering squats, where you're lifting yourself off the seat, lowering to get the sugars and nutrients into your leg muscles. And then, if you can, and you should, get yourself a bicycle. They're just awesome. I've loved bicycles ever since I was a kid. Anything with wheels, though, you know? I'm a wheel man. It must be in my blood. Okay, I want to wish you all a very, very happy new year. Make sure it's not too happy. You always want to keep your wits about you. Don't get yourself to the point where you don't know where you are or what you're doing. You know what I mean? Okay, guys. Vaya con Dios, and I'll see you then.